You ever wake up, open your phone, and immediately regret it because the internet is already on fire before you've even had breakfast? Yeah, that's exactly what happened today. Because apparently, ladies and gentlemen, Mendeecees Harris has decided he is done finished, exhausted, spiritually defeated by Tamar Braxton's I'm innocent, but not really storyline. And Funky Dineva just walked into the room holding what he's calling exclusive evidence. Now tell me, why do these scandals always start with a cracked tooth, a sideways glance, and somebody pretending they barely know somebody they were kissing in a car just 48 hours ago? Why? What kind of premium grade chaos is this? And more importantly, why is Tamar acting like the accident fairy visited her in the night while Funky Dineva is out here screaming, "No ma'am, I know exactly who was there"? Is this a misunderstanding? A setup? A cover-up? Or just another day in celebrity soap opera land where the truth is allergic to Tamar's version of events? Because Mendeecees isn't whispering anymore, he's dragging. Funky Dineva ain't speculating, he's revealing. And Tamar? Well, she's hiring lawyers again. Classic, buckle up. Because whatever you think you know, you don't. Not even close. Let's start from the beginning, the moment the internet collectively dropped its jaw and said, wait, what did Mendeecees just say? Because this wasn't a soft nudge, a subtle hint, or a sly shady tweet. No. This was a full-force drag session delivered with the confidence of a man who is tired of being pulled into drama he didn't sign up for. And honestly, who can blame him? Because the way Tamar tried to play Switzerland neutral, innocent, delicate while simultaneously letting Funky get crucified in the comments? Baby, the math wasn't mothing. So here's what happened. You've got Tamar, who suddenly appears with a cracked tooth and a mysterious accident that apparently no one saw, but everyone is somehow responsible for. The internet did what it always does, ran wild with assumptions. But the moment she sprinkled her signature subtle insinuations, the kind where she doesn't say a name, but she says everything, boom, chaos. And who caught the bullet? Funky Dineva, a man who, by the way, was minding his own business until he woke up trending for something he didn't even do. And instead of Tamar stepping in to say, hey y'all, calm down, Funky is not involved. She sat back, watched the drama unfold, and probably took a cute little selfie while sipping tea. But what she didn't anticipate was that Funky Dineva doesn't do passive-aggressive. He doesn't do ignore it and move on. He does exposure, and he does it loudly. Ender Mendeecees. Now remember, this is the same Mendeecees who Tamar claimed she barely knows, the same man she insisted was just an acquaintance she happened to bump into occasionally, the same man she suddenly acted like she couldn't even identify in a lineup. But according to Funky, who clearly came prepared with his imaginary filing cabinet of evidence, Tamar and Mendeecees were way closer than she wanted the public to believe. We're talking private conversations, inside jokes, giggles that last too long. The whole we're just cool routine? Yeah, nobody believed that. But then Funky drops the bomb. The night of the alleged accident? The night Tamar swears she was alone. Well, apparently she wasn't single quotes T. According to Funky and according to the dozens of imaginary sources, we're definitely not verifying Tamar wasn't with Funky that night. She wasn't alone. She wasn't even sad. She was entertained by Mendeecees and a friend. Yes, not one man, two, because why have one married man in your apartment at 2 a.m. when you can have two? Correct, but this is where the story gets sticky. See, Tamar wanted sympathy. She wanted people to assume her accident was the result of something dramatic, mysterious, maybe even violent. Something that would make her hashtags trend. Something emotional enough to spark a GoFundMe if she played it right, but she couldn't admit the real reason her tooth got knocked out, because that reason included Mendeecees and his friend being in her apartment after a party where they were allegedly kissing in a car like teenagers who just discovered lip gloss. So instead of telling the truth, Tamar let Funky become the scapegoat because she knew the internet would devour him faster than they would question her story. But the problem is, Funky doesn't scare easily. And when he gets dragged into a mess he didn't create, he cleans it up by dragging everybody with him, which is why he pulled out the alleged receipts, the alleged texts, the alleged timestamps, the alleged video footage that somebody supposedly recorded, and the alleged details Tamar conveniently forgot to mention Funky. Swears up and down that Tamar knows exactly what happened because she wasn't the victim of an accident. She was the victim of her own messy decisions. Decisions involving a married man whose wife just so happens to have a fan base that does not play about her. At this point, Mendeecees is done. He sees the blogs. He sees the comments. He sees the shady indirects. And he finally says, nope. He jumps into the conversation not to defend Tamar, not to clarify the story, but to pull the rug out from under her. He starts calling out the timeline. He starts denying the barely know each other lie. He starts exposing details Tamar left out because they didn't fit her victim narrative. And the audience? Oh, they're eating it up because nothing says scandal like a married man stepping forward to say, "You're not about to drag me into your drama." But here's the twist. Mendeecees wasn't the only one tired. Because while Tamar is scrambling for lawyers, Funky is gearing up to drop the kind of exclusive evidence that could make Tamar deactivate her entire social media. And that's where this video begins. Because what happened next? Nobody saw coming. So picture this. The internet is in full meltdown. Tamar is still pretending she barely knows Mendeecees. Funky Dineva is polishing his wig like he's about to enter court as his own attorney. And Mendeecees, yes, the Mendeecees Harris is sitting in his kitchen, eating grapes like a Roman emperor, whispering, "Enough is enough." And baby? That whisper echoed across all social media platforms in under 10 minutes. Because that's right, when Funky Dineva decided to hit the nuclear button. He goes live full HD. Ring light blazing, lip gloss shining, telling his viewers, "Y'all ready? 'Cause I ain't holding back. Not tonight." And the chat explodes like it's Black Friday at Walmart. Everyone knows that when Funky starts an episode with that tone, careers get buried. And this is where the story flips into overdrive. Funky drops what he calls the first piece of exclusive evidence. He pulls out a phone, tilts it dramatically, and shows the timestamp from that night to 47 a.m., a blurry silhouette. You can barely make out the features, but the shape, the posture, the hairstyle, the walk, baby. The internet said, "That's Tamar, don't play with us." And right beside her in that grainy, messy, TMZ on a budget clip, Mendeecees Harris and his homeboy Rayvon, a man who mysteriously vanished from social media hours after the video leaked. You should have seen Twitter. It was like a digital crime scene. One side screaming, "Tamar is innocent. She would never." The other side yelling, "Sis, she always in some married man drama, be serious." And then that one middle section of the internet that doesn't pick sides, just watches chaos and retweets. But it didn't stop with the clip. Funky then shows the exclusive Uber receipt allegedly taken from the driver who accidentally overheard the conversation. The description? Lord have mercy. According to the driver, Tamar was giggling in the back seat, saying things like, "Y'all gotta promise not to tell Yandy. She'll kill all of us." Now, is it real? Is it fake? Does it matter? Not to the internet. Once they get a whiff of drama, they run a marathon with it. But here's where everything blew completely off the rails. Mendeecees finally steps into the arena. No PR statement. No carefully typed notes app apology. No soft-spoken damage control. Nope. He goes live. Just his face, his chain, and pure, unfiltered frustration. He starts by saying, "If my name gon' be in these streets, it's gon' be with the truth attached." And instantly the live shoots past 40K viewers. Even people who don't know who Mendeecees is clicked in just because the thumbnail looked like he was about to swing. He doesn't call Tamar a liar, no. No, that would be too easy. He calls her something much worse, manipulative, messy, a professional victim. He even hints subtly, but not subtly, that Tamar's injury story wasn't adding up. He says, "Y'all keep saying someone cracked her teeth, but her story changed every time she told it. Ain't no grown person break to teeth and then magically blame whoever's trending that week. Oh, The chat almost caught fire, and he doesn't stop. He starts bringing up details that sound eerily specific. Details Tamar probably thought no one would ever repeat. Why didn't she tell y'all she invited us upstairs? Why didn't she tell y'all her neighbor already called security? Why didn't she tell y'all Rayvon had to pull me away from her? And just like that, Tamar's little "I don't really know him" narrative disintegrates before our eyes like cheap plastic dot at this point. The internet is not just watching, they're invested. Everybody quoting, screenshotting, zooming into pictures like they're in an FBI training program. But while Mendeecees is clearing his name, Tamar is panicking. She posts a vague Instagram story. "I'm focusing on healing. Everything else is noise, Mom." When you're accused of being in a car at 3 a.m. with a married man whose wife is a reality TV heavyweight, that's not noise. That's surround sound. That's not noise. That's surround sound. Meanwhile, Funky Dineva is basking in the glory like a villain enjoying his monologue. He says, "I ain't even started yet." Evidence this video to coming soon, and that's when the real plot twist hits. Anonymous sources start popping up. DMs. Voice memos, screenshots, people claiming Tamar wasn't just friendly with Mendeecees. She was strategic. Allegedly, Tamar was using the storyline to stay relevant, using Mendeecees for clout, and letting Funky take the fall for the teeth thing because she needed sympathy to promote her next project. One source even said she didn't clear Funky's name because she liked the attention. She said controversy keeps her booked, and suddenly, everything starts making sense. Why she didn't crack the rumors. Why she kept doing cryptic interviews. Why she acted like she barely knew. Mendeecees when social media already found 5 different events they attended together. But the wildfire doesn't stop here. While Tamar is dodging bullets and Funky is reloading his clip, Mendeecees drops one last bomb at the end of his live. There's video footage from inside that building. If it comes out, that's her problem, not mine. Silence. Complete silence. The type of silence that screams louder than any words ever could, and that exact moment is where this video ends and this video begins. With the fallout, the threats, the legal storm forming behind the scenes, and the receipts that could end someone's career for real. And the second those words left Mendeecees' mouth, the entire internet froze like somebody pressed pause on humanity. Because when a man like Mendeecees, fresh from federal charges, years of street awareness, and a PhD in I know how messy people move, says something like that, baby, that's not a threat. That's a promise wrapped in a warning and dipped in truth serum. Within minutes, hashtags start trending. Hashtag TAMAR footage, hashtag Mendeecees aired her out, hashtag Funky was right, hashtag who broke the teeth. Twitter turned into a court hearing with no judge, no jury, just millions of people who love drama more than they love oxygen. But while the internet was losing oxygen, Tamar was losing sleep because insiders, real or imaginary, but very enthusiastic, began whispering that Tamar's team had gone into full crisis mode. Lawyers were making phone calls. Publicists were drafting statements. Assistants were running around like interns at Vogue during Fashion Week. One insider claimed Tamar told her team to shut everything down because she knows that footage could kill her reputation. Another said she wasn't expecting Mendeecees to turn on her. She thought he'd protect her because she protected him. Protected him? Since WHEN? This is the same woman who let Funky take the fall while she dropped hints like Easter eggs in a Marvel movie. Meanwhile, Funky Dineva was sitting back with his feet up, holding a glass of rose like Cruella de Vil, admiring her next coat. He goes live again and says, "I told y'all, when people lie long enough, the truth eventually gets jealous." He then promises more receipts, this time claiming he has audio clips from someone who was in the building the night everything went down. And that's when the story takes a hard left turn into full-blown scandal. According to Funky's mysterious source, Tamar allegedly invited Mendeecees and Rayvon upstairs because she didn't want the night to end. The source even claims Tamar was flirting aggressively and touching on Mendeecees like she owned him. Now, is any of this verified? Of course not. But for the internet, verification is optional. Drama, however, is mandatory. Then, yet another anonymous source shows up saying Tamar's teeth incident wasn't an accident. It was the result of a drunk stumble. Right after an argument with Rayvon in the hallway, Rayvon disappearing off social media suddenly makes a lot more sense. But the happens when a building's security guard who clearly needs attention, a raise, or both claims he remembers the incident vividly. He said she was crying and yelling that she didn't want nobody to tell Yandy. She kept saying, "This wasn't supposed to happen," whether true or not. That one line, "this wasn't supposed to happen," becomes a viral catchphrase overnight. Memes, edits, fan cams, t-shirts, remixes on TikTok. People took it and ran. But Tamar? She ran too straight to Instagram. She posted a photo with the caption, "I won't be bullied. I won't be manipulated. I know my truth, Mom." The internet said, "Drop the truth then. We're waiting," but she didn't. Instead, she posted a praying hands emoji and a quote about moving with love. Whenever a celebrity posts about love and light, it usually means they're losing the fight. Meanwhile, Mendeecees wasn't backing down. Not even a little. He doubled down, saying she kept hinting that Funky had something to do with her injury. She let the internet attack him. She knows what really went down. He even claimed she was the one who begged him not to tell Yandy. The messy meter. Off the charts? NASA had to step in, and then because this story can't just be messy, it has to be catastrophic. Someone leaks a blurry screenshot from a hallway camera. You can't see faces clearly, but you see a woman with Tamar's hairstyle, a man shaped like Mendeecees, and a third man shaped like Rayvon, all entering her building at 2:52 a.m. The internet exploded like a Samsung battery. Funky Dineva reposted it with the caption, "Chilly. I'm going back to sleep. Y'all have fun." Yandy posts a cryptic message saying, "God reveals what needs to be revealed. Oh, it's bad. It's really bad." Now, the blogs are reporting that Tamar's legal team is trying to block the release of the full footage. Some say they're sending cease and desists. Others say they offered the building management a donation to make the problem disappear. But you know what happens when celebrities try to hide something? The public starts digging, and they did. They found old photos of Tamar and Mendeecees at events she claimed she wasn't at. They found clips of her calling him family years ago. They even dug up an old interview where she said married men are always the sweetest. Everything she tried to bury came back like a zombie craving airtime. By the end of the week, Tamar is facing accusations of lying, accusations of manipulating the narrative, accusations of cheating scandals, accusations of clout-chasing, accusations of smearing Funky Dineva, accusations of dragging Mendeecees into mess, and accusations of hiding footage. Basically, she's fighting every demon in the spiritual and digital realms. Meanwhile, Funky is sipping wine. Mendeecees is playing poker with the truth. Yandy is praying for strength. And Rayvon is somewhere hiding like he's in witness protection. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the exact point where this scandal goes from messy to historic, because if the footage leaks, if the audio drops, if another witness pops out of nowhere, somebody's career is about to fall harder than Tamar's teeth did. And there you have it. Y'all, the scandal that refuses to die. The storyline that gets messier every time somebody opens their mouth. And the drama that has Tamar, Funky Dineva, Mendeecees, and half of Atlanta sweating like they're in a courtroom with no lawyer present. This entire situation has turned into a full-blown digital earthquake. And we still don't have the full footage, the full truth, or the full story. Which means one thing, somebody is hiding something big. But let me ask you this. Do you think Tamar is innocent? Do you think Mendeecees really has that inside the building video? Do you think Funky Dineva is exposing the truth? Or just enjoying the chaos? Or do you think all three of them are playing the internet like a violin for attention, clicks, and headlines? Because trust me, this saga ain't over. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not until the real receipts drop. And when they do, oh baby, Somebody's public image is going straight to the ICU. So before you go, make sure you hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe because I promise you, the next twist in this story is coming, and when it hits, you're gonna want to be right here when we break it first. Want to be right here when we break it first.